Hi, this is Andy Flippick in Toronto for the week of August the 28th. Today I'm going to deal with central bank digital currencies. While many of us are aware of the cryptocurrencies, names like Bitcoin, etc., we may not understand how they operate. However, cryptocurrency have become very popular and now they are established globally in the financial industry. Specifically, the new entity that we're hearing about are central bank digital currencies, which are going to be issued by governments primarily through their central bank. Now, the obvious benefit of the central bank digital currencies is the elimination of cash. And if one looks currently, for most financial transactions, cash isn't used. So this is sort of the final step. Now, as I mentioned, some of the benefits of central bank digital cryptocurrencies are obvious, such as you don't need to use cash anymore. The efficiency and the lower cost from industrial institutional use is obvious. We can lower costs by using it. One thing for central banks is the better control of monetary policy. Specifically, central banks can direct money right into an individual's account. As before with quantitative easing, we saw that the money got into the system, the additional money through the banking system. So there's a potential for greater efficiency in dealing with economic policies going forward. Also, there's a potential to reduce black market activity because these transactions will be traceable. On the downside is the disintermediation of the banking system, sort of reduced needs for banks, and this will be quite traumatic potentially to the system. There's the increased cost initially of developing the infrastructure for central bank digital currencies. There's the obvious vulnerability to hacking, and as well, there's privacy concerns where the government can view everything that you're doing, and this somewhat creates a surveillance state. Power outages are obvious that you won't be able to use your money if there's a power outage. And lastly, this will create a potential overreach for central banks and governments where they actually have way too much power over how we operate. Now, these advantages and disadvantages may be quite obvious to most of us, but the ultimate goal of central bank digital currencies may not be that obvious. If one is actively following what's going on, groups like the World Economic Forum, the Trilateral Commission, and the Council on Foreign Relations, these are three gigantic policy think tanks, largely controlled by if you could call it the global elite of the world. They're major promoters of central bank digital currencies, as they are very helpful to the goals of these entities. And many people, as I say, may not be aware of what their goals are, but just looking through recent articles and policy statements, they have a significant change in mind for the future of the global economy and the social hierarchy. For example, their plans involve a declining importance in democracy, a move away from traditional capitalism, and a different procedure for future development, both economic and the environment. And central bank digital currencies will help tremendously in this overhaul, potentially, of the global economy. The other concern as well is that central bank digital currencies may be used at a time during financial crisis when our old system, where governments are so indebted, central bank digital currencies could be brought in to help get money to people while they change or restructure. For example, the US dollar may have to be repriced, or bonds may have to be restructured because we're reaching the end of the current financial system. Just too much debt that has too high a cost in servicing. So it's important that people follow along as to what's going on with central bank digital currencies, because it could have a tremendous impact on one's social being as well as their economic being. We at the Flippick Group are following this closely, and we will adjust our permanent portfolio accordingly to anything we think needs to be done to protect us from the possible pain of a world where cash is no longer used and central bank digital currencies are the one way that money is and economics are done going forward. Thanks for watching.